What do you think of today's bodybuilding? What's your view on today's bodybuilding?
Well, I mean, it's not at the level of excitement that I would like it to be, because we don't have superstars. Superstars attract people that ordinarily wouldn't be involved in our sport. Basketball has LeBron. Boxing had Mike Tyson. Well, no, that's a long time ago, but Tyson Fury, and every sport has these superstars that carry the weight. And mind you, I'm coming from a different era. I mean, everyone was a superstar when I was competing. The line for Shawn Ray, the line was equal for Kevin Levrone and Flex Wheeler and Nasser El Somebody. Now you have lines for Instagram people that we've never heard of, because they're able to build a following. The bodybuilders, I think, are trailing in that social media capacity. Like, you get 1 million followers, and you think you're somebody. It's not how many followers you have. I mean, you have to have a reason to want to be like somebody. Like, who didn't want to be like Mike or Tiger Woods, or in the boxing world, have this aspiration to be like Mike Tyson, just invincible, this menacing force. But bodybuilding, it's tough. We realize how fragmented all the bodybuilders are, how disconnected they are with proximity. I mean, when I was coming up, you walk into Gold's Gym, you're walking into Muscle and Fitness, you're walking into Flex Magazine, you're walking into bodybuilding royalty. And there was something revered and mystical about these athletes that you didn't have that personal connection to. You only had this vision. And when you walk into the gym and you start talking to them, you realize they're human. Now you see them on their Instagram live feed. You see them, you see maybe there's some overexposure with the Instagram and digital world that takes away the shine of making these guys feel special or look special, because you can put whatever you want on Instagram. You can put filters. You can create a certain look or light. Listen, if I'm here at the marina and I'm taking pictures here all day and I'm doing videos from a yacht, people would be out there thinking, well, Shawn lives at the beach and he lives on a yacht. The perception's not reality. But back when I was coming up, the only thing that mattered was what we looked like. You didn't get to hear us really talking as much. You didn't get to see us even fighting. Like, there would be some words in a magazine that you have to wait 3 months for the response to come out from the other bodybuilder. Now, you can shots fired. You can instantaneously, somebody else is talking shit. So I don't know. I just think the mystique is taken away from the leaders. We don't hear from Big Ramy. We don't really hear that much from guys. I mean, I love what Brandon Curry's doing with bodybuilding and being a family man. But if you're a teenager wanting to be a bodybuilder, you're looking at a husband and a father that's hard to relate to. Like, I didn't look at, like, Lee Haney won his first Olympia in 1984 when I was in high school. And I didn't look at Lee Haney as a husband or a father. I mean, he was married. Right. He married his childhood sweetheart. He didn't have his kids till later on, but I was just looking at a superstar. Samir Banu, I didn't know much about his family life. I think he started his family after 1983. You got to remember, when I was coming up, our superstars were in their 20s. And now our superstars are 40 plus. Late 30s, mid 40s, all the way into their 50s. We're looking at grown men. I mean, Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, myself, Labrada, Lee Haney retired at 31 years old. 31. So we were looking at a young man. We weren't looking at a 50-year-old, Right. In 1985, Albert Beckles was 46 years old when he got second in the Mr. Olympia, and I thought he was ancient. 1985, I think I was 19 years old. So for Albert to get second at 46 years old, I'm thinking I have chance for a long career, but he's old. I didn't identify with Albert Beckles as a teenager. So what are the teenagers today identifying with? They're not identifying with any of these bodybuilders. There's not a teenage division anymore. Our next group of pros are coming in at, they're in their 30s. I don't know. I fear for bodybuilding because we don't have that young generation. Basketball has always had that college generation coming up.
Yeah, and they're getting younger in basketball.
Yeah, and in football, you have that college graduation. bodybuilding, we don't have it. Where is our farm club for the next generation of bodybuilders after Steve Kuklo, Brandon Curry, James Flex Lewis? These are our young guys, but they're really veterans. You know what I mean? They're veterans. When I came in at 22 years old, I mean, Rich Gaspari was like 25 or 6. You know, Lee Haney is 5 years older than me. These guys were in their 20s, Earl. So when we start talking about comparing eras, I remember Dexter made mention that, hey man, you know, Shawn, you beat me 3 times, but those were my first 3 Olympias. Yeah, your first 3 Olympias, 31, 32, and 33. At 31, 32, and 33, I was on like Olympia number 9, 10, and 11. You know what I mean?
So Dexter's never beaten you, heavy.
No, poor guy. I'm sorry. It's all good. I mean, listen. Listen, I just got done watching on ESPN. They were comparing boxers. They're comparing basketball players: LeBron James, Michael Jordan, you know, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. There's always going to be the talk and comparisons, but you know, you have to stay on point when you're talking about what you're talking about. Are you talking about the most successful bodybuilder? Dexter Jackson is the most successful bodybuilder, in the history of bodybuilding. Indisputable, end of argument. There's no comparison. Who would be next? Probably Ronnie Coleman.
Right.
Ronnie, because of all the contests he won. But you have to throw Jay Cutler in there too. I mean, because people define success in many different ways.
Right.
Monetarily, longevity, service, you know, what they bring, what they've given back. I mean, are you telling me that Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the most successful bodybuilder in history? I mean, he has to be the most successful. And then someone will go, wait a minute, he's not. He only won 7 Olympias. And, you know, Dexter won 29 shows. Okay, so there's a different measurement of success.
Right.
So the most successful competitive bodybuilder would be Dexter. He's won 29 shows. He's won 9 Arnold Classic titles. He's won a Mr. Olympia championship. And he's competed in 3 decades. You have to have, he's the most successful. So is that a slap in Arnold's face? Because of what he did in transcending bodybuilding? He won 6 consecutive Olympias in the 70s, and he won one after a 5-year layoff in 1980. Parlayed that into becoming a box office smash, the governor, marrying a Kennedy, President's Council of Physical Fitness. We can't discount that success. So Ronnie Coleman, I mean, he changed the look of bodybuilding. He won 8 Olympia titles and tied the greatest bodybuilder of all time, Lee Haney. Why is Lee Haney the greatest bodybuilder of all time? I'll tell you why. Because he won 8 Olympia titles in succession. He only had 1 third place as a professional bodybuilder, and that was his first Olympia. And he retired at 31 years old. He must be the greatest. Because who could do that at that age? And he broke Arnold Schwarzenegger's record, who came before him. So is that taking anything away from Ronnie Coleman? No, because Ronnie Coleman started at the back of the pack. His first Olympia, he was dead last. He was climbing his way up for 5 years from 92 to 97. In his first Olympia win, he went from 9th place to 1st place, and he beat Hall of Fame bodybuilders, Flex Wheelers, myself, Kevin Levrone, Nasser El-Samadi, Chris Cormier. He leapfrogged over all of these athletes, and he hung on to that title for 8 consecutive years. I mean, he must be the greatest. So we can debate who's the greatest with a lot of different criteria. But I couldn't see Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson or Kobe Bryant getting pissed off at the argument of who's better. Dexter feels slighted because I said he never beat me. Well, I'm sorry to state the fact. He never did. He didn't ever beat me. Now, can we have an intelligent argument about who's better at their prime? Yeah, you have to put up the pictures, make those comparisons, figure out which year we felt we were at our best, and then you go from there. It's all semantics. It really is, because I felt I was at my prime in my 20s, and Dexter is at his prime past the age of 40. And my argument is always, you're only as good as the guys you stand next to.
Right.
And so when I was competing, I had Ronnie Coleman and Flex Wheeler and Kevin Levrone. And when Dexter had his opportunity, he couldn't make the top 6 of that lineup for 3 consecutive tries. Whether it's the beginning of your career or not, I mean, you had that opportunity, and you were in your 30s. with that opportunity. So, and to his credit, he was 4 years younger than me. But remember, when I came in the game, I was also 4 years younger than Labrada. And I chased Labrada. 1990, Labrada beat me. Or 1988, Labrada beat me. 1990, Labrada beat me. 1991 and 92, Labrada beat me. I chased him down and finally got him in 93. And he retired afterwards. Labrada was like a god to me. He was the guy I had to beat for validation. Dexter didn't have that opportunity because I got out before he could. Could he have chased me down if I stayed in the game long enough? Probably, because that's what happens.
Right.
But my passions turned away from competitive bodybuilding and chasing the Sandow to starting a family and doing business. That's the cycle of life. Had I came back in 2002, if I didn't have the same hunger and desire in the previous years, anybody can beat me. Anybody can beat you when you're off. And look,
right.
Dexter, I think, was 7th place in the Mr. Olympia the year before he wound up in the top 5. I think he was 7th when Phil Heath got beat. And then he climbed back up into the top. I think he got 5th. And then he just got 2nd at the Arnold Classic. Sorry, my daughter was calling me. So what Dexter has done is nothing short of amazing. I've given him props. He doesn't accept that, but it is what it is. It's a debate that I let the fans argue.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I know you're busy. What's your life like today? What's Shawn Ray's life like today?
I'm very comfortable in my skin. With this COVID-19, I haven't seen the gym in 2 months. It's refreshing. I'm injury-free. I've got lots of opportunities. Again, I'm traveling the world still, representing various companies. This is how I envision life after bodybuilding. Staying close to the sport that I love, I'm passionate about, following the athletes coming up, shaping the next generation, and being part of the Olympia team. I am working with and for Jake Wood at Digital Muscle and as an Olympia advisor, working with and alongside Dan Solomon, who I came up in the game. Remember when I had my very first pro show that Phil Heath won, Dan Solomon and Bob Chick were MCs that I flew in to host my show. And now we have Bob as the master of ceremonies for the past 10, 15 years of Olympia. Dan is the producer of the Olympia. My boss is the owner of the Olympia. I'm in a very good place in time at 54 years old. My youngest just turned 12. And of course, I have my 38-year-old daughter that I was reunited with 3 years ago. I'm a grandfather. She's got 3 kids. So for me, I wouldn't change anything except wish to have my dad, who's been dead 10 years, here today, present, to see what life and bodybuilding has turned out for me. He was a part of my whole career. He saw my 2 youngest daughters that will be 15 years old, and the other youngest just turned 12. My mom at 81 years old, they are grateful that I chose this sport, and I've handled it in a way that represented and reflects them. I told you I'm the son of a janitor. My mom's an accountant. This doesn't run in my family. I was a unicorn. Nobody else was trying to be Mr. Olympia but me. So I didn't have anybody coach me. John Brown introduced me to the sport, but I'm self-taught, self-coached, and I made a life for myself.
Okay.
I made a life for myself. And I'm thankful for all the things that it's given me and given me the opportunity to give others, most importantly.
I always like to end it with, I'm gonna give 5 rapid questions, 1-word answers, and you can't repeat the same answer. Okay?
You think I'm gonna give you the same answer to a question?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
But I always explain the rules. Right. What's the greatest city of the best city that you like that you ever been to? Best city, country, whatever.
I love Vienna, Austria.
Austria. Okay. One word of family.
1 word, family?
Answer, right.
Blessed. Not many people have the opportunity to have family. Some people that have family don't like their family. I'm in a very fortunate situation that I created for myself.
Money.
It's a necessity, but it's not everything, because I've had very good days of having a very flush bank account, and I've had days when there's nothing in that bank account. So it helps drive you and give you purpose, especially when you have other people reliant upon you. So it's a necessity that you have to manage properly and keep perspective on, because it can money in the wrong person's hands can ruin a person or expose them. And money management in the right person's hands can create opportunities, which you are by design supposed to give back, share, and plant seeds with. And so I found a good way to manage money and share it.
Bodybuilder.
My lifeblood. You take bodybuilding away, I don't have an identity. I found bodybuilding at 17 years old, and it's exposed me to a world I never thought I would see, individuals I never thought I would meet, celebrity I only could dream of, and opportunities that are endless.
One more, Shawn Ray.
Very content. I got in to be the best. I did the best with what I had to work with. I'm injury-free. I feel very whole. I've done everything I've set out to do. I didn't win the Olympia, but there's a lot of people that never did, and I never validated my career based on winning or losing. Otherwise, I would have competed a lot more. But Shawn Ray is at peace. I feel scholarly. I feel worldly. I feel wise because of the people I've been exposed to. But more importantly, I feel thankful and blessed.
All right. I appreciate it. It took us long enough to catch up to this interview, but I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I get you for dinner when I see you at the Olympia, if they have it. They've been postponing everything. But next time we're in the same town, I got you.
Absolutely, man. I thank you for what you do for the sport of bodybuilding and your support of Shawn Ray Productions all these years. And Raider Nation, baby.
Oh, come on now.
All right. I'm out.
All right.